took me a week to get through. A week. That just kind of says everything. Well, the girl could be a robot and wouldn't be able to tell the difference. We have high expectations for men. But like when a guy does something nice, we're like, no, he can't do that. Like, what do we want? Hi guys, welcome to the channel, I hope you're doing well. So for today's video, I've got my April reading wrap up because how are we now in May? Like it's literally the 1st of May when I'm filming this. Less than 2 weeks to my 21st birthday. It's also so hot outside when I'm filming this. We're going through like a mini heat wave in the UK and it's currently like 22 degrees outside. The past 2 days it's been like 24, 25 degrees and I'm so hot right now and I want to like open my window, but then that means that people outside are going to hear me filming and that's quite embarrassing. I am actually so proud of myself that I'm filming this quite early as well because I've overall had the best reading month of the year so far. I read 9 books and I had some good reads. I also had some disappointing reads, so I thought I'd just sit down and go through all the books that I read in April. I started off the month reading Happily Never After by Lynn Painter. I've had this book on my TBR for like near enough a year, so I just thought to pick it up because it's slowly getting warmer and I feel like when it slowly starts to warm up, rom-coms like the perfect type of book to read. So I picked this book up because it's really short and I just feel like with Lynn Painter books, I just have a really fun time with her book. This one is actually one of her new adult books instead of her YA books, which like she's most famous for. Now this one follows Max and Sophie. So this book starts off with Max objecting Sophie's wedding because Sophie finds out that her soon-to-be husband is cheating on her. So her best friend decides to hire Max to object the wedding and Sophie knows about this of course, and it kind of goes from there where Sophie needs some money so she decides to object weddings as well and they kind of like work together on this and it kind of goes from there. I had a really fun time with this book. I liked the characters, I liked the whole like plot with the objecting people's weddings. I thought that's quite fun, something different as well. I thought the romance was quite fun. I just wish that the third act breakup didn't happen or the third act situation. I just can't remember what really happened. All I remember is that it really annoyed me. So I did give it a 3.5 star. It was like a 3.75 quite a lot of it, but then that third act situation made it 3.5, but I still did enjoy it. I read it so quickly. I like Lynn Painter's writing. I just like her rom-coms. I just think if you need a book that's a quick book to get through, if you're in a book slump, I feel like this is a good one. So 3.5 star. I just want to quickly say that majority of these books are new releases. I feel like I got through so many new releases this month. Like April and May are always like the best months for new releases, I'd say. So there's a lot of new releases and one of them is actually Sunrise and the Reaping. I believe this book actually came out in March. Not April. This book is the prequel to The Hunger Games. So this is Haymitch's story. So Haymitch in The Hunger Games, he is Katniss and Peter's mentor. That's not like a spoiler really at all. You kind of read The Hunger Games and you're interested about Haymitch's story and then you get his story. And this book just, I just love being back in this world with these characters. Like this book you get introduced to so many new characters, but then you also see characters that are in the Hunger Games trilogy as well, and like how everything's entwined is so clever and fun to read about. And I finished this book still having questions that I don't think will ever get answered. I gave this book 4 star. I really like the characters and a lot of the tributes in this book you fall in love with, and this is the thing, the tributes in the Hunger Games, there's only like a couple of them that you fall in love with and everyone else you hate, but in this one you fall in love with so many of them and you know what's going to happen. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's hard to kind of talk about this book without giving spoilers, but if you haven't already read this book, I definitely recommend it. And I'd also say read the Hunger Games trilogy first, then read Haymitch's story. I think that makes the most sense. Even though this is on Goodreads as like a 0.5, so like a prequel, I still recommend read Hunger Games and then pick up this book because I really enjoyed it. 4 star, got through it quickly, and I said I just love to be back in this world. Then I picked up a small town romance. So I picked up Fragile Sanctuary by Catherine Cowles. So Catherine Cowles has written a lot of romantic suspense small town romances, and this is the first book in her new series that she's currently writing. This book follows Anson and Rhodes. So Rhodes, when she was younger, her family died in this house fire and she ends up getting adopted by her best friend's family. Years later, she decides to renovate the house because she wants to live there, the house that was burnt down in the fire. The guy who's like helping renovate the house is her brother's best friend, Anson, and he has his own trauma from his past and he is very like closed off from people. He doesn't really let anyone in. The only person who's kind of let in to some extent is the brother. I did enjoy this book. I think I gave it a 3.5 star. I really liked the romantic suspense element. I did not guess the plot twist literally at all. I had someone else in my head for like the whole part of the book and it wasn't them. I wasn't like overly connected to the romance, that's why it wasn't higher than a 3.5 star. I did enjoy the romance, I just wasn't like particularly connected to it, but I really like the sibling dynamics of all the siblings. I think there's like 5 or 6 of them and each of them are having their own story. I do want to carry on this whole series as well because this was just such a quick and easy read. I haven't read a romantic suspense book in a while, so I enjoyed this one. 3.5 star, definitely want to carry on with the series. Then I went ahead and picked up Fearless by Lauren Roberts because this was a new release that I did read. I read this book on release day. Well, I didn't finish it on release day, but I started on release day because I wanted to avoid all the spoilers because people on TikTok, if a book literally just came out and you're putting spoilers, please put spoiler warnings. It's not difficult. So I just was like, I need to read this book. This is the third and final book in the Powerless trilogy. I really loved Powerless, and then Powerful I had a fun time with, which is a novella which is about different characters, and then Reckless I was quite disappointed in, and then I went into this book not with high expectations at all because I was disappointed in Reckless. But I did overall enjoy this book. What I do really like about this trilogy is the romance. Like Peyton and Kai, they have so much tension between them, and Kai's very like four-paged. It's more of like a reverse Grumpy Meets Sunshine. I would say there's a lot of banter between the characters, and that's one thing that I really liked about this book, is I felt like the banter like came back between them. I did enjoy the fantasy elements in this book, but I did still give it a 3.75 star because the ending situation I thought was very rushed. I just didn't think that this book had really like high stakes. Everything kind of felt quite surface level. I just didn't love it, but I still did really enjoy it. I got through it very quickly, and I do still really enjoy this universe. I just feel like Powerless, the first book, is my favourite book in this series. Like the first book will always be my favourite, but I did prefer this book to Reckless. Then I picked up Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. This is her new release for this year, and this is one, before I went into it, I saw a lot of mixed reviews, so I think I kind of went into this book knowing these mixed reviews, and this book really disappointed me. This book took me a week to get through. A week. That just kind of says everything, but I can't even remember much about this book. So it follows Xavier and Samantha. So they meet because Xavier's a vet. Samantha goes into his place of work, they kind of get off the wrong foot, but then they're both like attracted towards each other. So then they go on this date and they have this like brilliant date with each other and they really like each other. But then Samantha has to go back home because her mum has dementia and the whole family is trying to care for the mum. So she needs to go back home. It ends up being a like long distance kind of situation, but then at the same time they can't be together because Xavier's really busy with his business and they're trying to create time, they're trying to see each other, but then they both have things going on in their own lives and it kind of goes from there. And it's supposedly that like angsty type book, but I thought there was really no angst whatsoever. I didn't connect to the romance, I didn't really connect to the characters. I thought Samantha's family was low-key really annoying as well. Like I found her family really annoying. Just didn't really love this book. But what I will say with Abby Jimenez is when reading her books, her characters do feel like real people because they are kind of realistic, I would say. But I gave this book 3 stars. I just didn't really care, to be honest. I read this book and I was like, I don't really care. But then I've also seen people really like it, but then I've also seen people really dislike it and just like didn't connect to it. I think that's quite a common thing. People just didn't really connect to the characters. Then I picked up Watch Me by Tahira Mafi. This is the first book in, what series is it called? It does have a series name, but I don't know what it's called. It just says a Shatter Me novel. So this is her new series that connects with the Shatter Me series. It's in the same world, and this one follows James. James is a character that gets introduced in the Shatter Me series, and this is set 10 years after the Shatter Me series ended. I don't want to say anything else about that because I feel like that'll give spoilers for the Shatter Me series, and you have to read the Shatter Me series then read this book. In this book, James ends up on this island. He decides to rebel against his family and go to this island even though his whole family doesn't want him to. You can guess who his family is. When he's there, he meets the FMC Rosabelle? There we go, Rosabelle. She's had a very difficult upbringing. She's had to raise her younger sister herself, and she is very, I don't know how to describe her character. She's very, doesn't feel emotion, like literally at all. The girl could be a robot and wouldn't be able to tell the difference. They are kind of like attracted towards each other, but then they also like hate each other. The only thing I'd say about this book is there wasn't really a lot of plot. This is just like a good starting book. Like I don't really think much happened with the plot, but I did like the romance. I love how James is more like Gaunt Tree for energy, and he's quite funny. He's like a mix of Kenji and Aaron. Like he's literally a mix of them two. I did really enjoy this book. I gave it 4 stars. I got through it really quickly. Hang on a minute, I didn't give it 4 stars, I gave it 3.75 because I remember the ending really confused me and I feel like there was a cliffhanger, but then I didn't really see it as much of a cliffhanger, so I gave it 3.75, not 4 stars. But I still did really enjoy it and I'm excited for the next book. Then I picked up Wild and Wrangled by Lila Sage. This is the 4th and final book in the Rebel Blue Ranch series. This series has been like fun for me. I would say the second book is definitely my favourite, which I feel like quite an unpopular opinion because I see a lot of people say that's their least favourite, but it is my favourite. But this one I was so excited about because both characters, Camille and Dusty, they have like a few interactions together in the previous books and I was really interested about their story. This one is second chance romance, single mum romance, also like reverse Grumpy Meets Sunshine, I would say. Camille and Dusty, they were together when they were younger and then something happened. Years later, Camille is going to get married, but then her soon-to-be husband ends up leaving her at the altar before the wedding. Dusty ends up kind of like getting her like out of there and just kind of making sure that she's okay, and then Camille ends up being Dusty's next door neighbour and it kind of goes from there. I gave this book a 3.5 star. I did enjoy it. I like being back in this universe. I love seeing the side characters. My problem with this book was the FMC. I literally hardly say that in books where like the FMC was annoying and I really like the MMC. Usually it's the other way around. Camille, she just made a big thing out of such little problems. I saw Destiny say this and I really agree with this, that FMCs nowadays, if the guy does something nice for them, the girl hates it. Like, you know, as like girls, we have high expectations for men. But like when a guy does something nice, we're like, no, he can't do that. Like, what do we want? What do we want? So that was one thing that did annoy me, which kind of led to a Theric situation that I just felt was so unnecessary, considering we literally had hardly any pages to go. Like, it made no sense for the story. But I did really like Dusty, and I said I did like being back in this universe, so I gave it a 3.5 star, but the second book, as I said, is still my favourite in the series. I feel like I might have been in a bit of a cowboy type mood because I did then pick up Ride and Hide by Paisley Hope. Now this one is another new release, and this is the third book in the Silver Pine series. Is it called Silver Pine series? So Silver Pine's there, I think it might be Silver Pine series. This one follows Cole and Ginger. Cole's sister, Cece, the girl in the first book, is Ginger's best friend, and Ginger's always had a crush on Cole. He's like a couple of years older, but then he's kind of like put her at arm's length because she's his sister's best friend. Cole is actually a single dad. He's practically had to raise his daughter himself. The mum is really not in the picture a lot. Ginger and Cole like build this friendship and has had this friendship for a few years because Ginger's just been there for Cole. It ends up a situation where they get married in Vegas. They have this one night stand and they decide to remain married because Cole has just got a sheriff position and Ginger's dad needs to get re-elected. So if they kind of find out that they had a drunken marriage, then it's just gonna give them like bad publicity. Ginger helps kind of being a nanny to Cole's daughter, and I really love this book. I gave it a 4 star. I really liked both Cole and Ginger. I thought their banter together was great. There's no thought at breakup. I thought they communicated well. There was a time where I was like, you need to like both communicate, but then they did actually end up communicating, so that didn't bother me. I'd definitely say if you like the Chestnut Spring series, and I feel like you like this book. This one is my favourite so far in this series, I'd say. The series just keep getting better and better. The first book is my least favourite, then the second book, and then this book is my favourite. The final book I read this month that I actually finished yesterday was Enchantress by Kay Smith. I've just realised I read quite a lot of like fantasy / dystopian type books this month. I feel like I only read like one of them a month, if that, so I got through like 4 this month. This book is the second book in the series. I don't know what the series is actually called, but the first book is Phantasma. I read that at the end of last year, really loved it. This is the second book. This one follows Genevieve and Rowan. This series you'll have to read in order, even though each book is about a different couple. Like plot with each of them are like combined and it is like a series. Like the next book is carrying on from this book, but it is going to be about different characters. Genevieve gets an invitation to Enchantress, which is this game. She ends up in this house, but then she can't get out of this house because there's this game that's going to happen and she can't leave, and there's this like devil, and then this family of like so many siblings were there in this game like every single year. It's kind of like the last man standing, but these siblings are in this family are immortal, so they do kind of all remain alive. It ends up being a marriage convenience situation between Genevieve and Rowan, one of the siblings, so Rowan can kind of help Genevieve through these games. Kind of goes from there. I did really enjoy this book. I gave it a 3.75 star. I just found that the ending was very rushed and kind of confused me a little bit, but I really like the siblings. I thought every single one of them had different personalities. I really like the gothic fantasy vibes, and it is very like much fantasy, but you do get a lot of romance. I really like Genevieve and Rowan's like relationship dynamic. I found Genevieve in the first book quite annoying, but in this book she was really feisty and I loved her confidence. As I said, I gave this book 3.75. I got through it quickly. Really like characters. You also get a couple of little scenes with the characters from the other book as well, so I liked seeing them, and now I'm just excited for the next book because I know what character is going to be about. I'm intrigued about their story. So yeah, those are all the books that I read in April. I really hope you did enjoy this video. I feel like I've got through these books actually really quickly while I talk about them, so yeah, I really hope you did enjoy this video. As always, please subscribe, like this video, and yeah, I'll see you guys in my new video. Bye guys!